So, all right, well, good morning, everyone. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker at MX1 Realty and Realty Partners.
And my name is Ming Richardson. I am the compliance broker for MX1 Realty and Realtor Partners.
And this is our weekly
backstory.
Yeah, this is a real estate backstory. You can find it every week at realestatebackstory.com. And this is where we try and expose the soft underbelly of the real estate world. And kind of what the goings and comings of the real estate in the Atlanta area and what's going on and what we see happening in the marketplace and all those kind of fun things. And one thing that we really enjoy doing is bringing in different vendors and partners, because at the end of the day, real estate is always about relationships. And so this morning, Caren Denny has joined us. So Caren,
Hello.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
I'm happy to be here. I miss you all very much. I miss
good seeing you. Yeah, we missed all the in-person experiences.
It's different. It really is. But RIA is a residential inspector. We've been around since 1989, and I would say if I had to guesstimate now, I've done about 120,000 inspections in the Atlanta area, and have grown by leaps and bounds. So for those of you, I'm just going to start off very generic here with our $25,000 in warranty coverage, and I will email this link out as well. So every inspection comes with $25,000 in warranty coverage at no additional cost for the first 90 days after the inspection. And one other thing we have added, which is pretty rare, is that we also have a seller's warranty coverage at no additional charge. So we always get to a point in a transaction where usually the seller says, no more money, not giving any more money, taking any more off, we're done. Because there's times where there could be something, but it's not an absolute, but there is something brewing in a home. And that additional protection really, really helps kind of buffer us and get us to the closing table, because everybody feels better knowing they have a little coverage. We also have some different items that I will send out to you all, and you can click on the links and check out our new website. It's got a lot of resources for agents and tools. So if there's anything I can do, I'm going to put my information in the chat box, and please feel free to contact me at any time with questions.
Great. Well, one thing that we really like about working with you guys is that you guys' job is not to be scaring our clients. Some home inspectors are just, all they're worried about is CYA. Covering their
assets.
their assets. Thank you. And so a lot of times, we see home inspection reports that come in written with such, a licensed, bonded, and insured professional must repair the missing downspouts. Like, okay,
right?
The elbow on a downspout is really gonna, anyone with a couple of hands can probably do that.
Right, so, like a doorknob. It's really just not a big deal. Yeah. No, there's no reason to be an alarmist. And one of the things, Alan, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. If somebody goes on our site, and I'm going to put that link in, I want you to check out our new reports, because it brings the eye. It's a much easier read with a new software for that. It brings the agent's eye and the client's eye right to what is important, and kind of weeds out all the other noise. And noise is in an inspection report.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a lot of problem we run into, is that you have buyers that really don't understand inspection, and when they hear these keywords, and they basically kill the deal without really understanding the education behind it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Caren. We sure appreciate you. We're going to jump into our normal go here. So, all right. So this week, as far as the MX1 training, we have a lot of continuing education this week. Tomorrow we have the ultimate buyer system, and all these are going to be online. And so you can find that at mx1training.com. On Wednesday,
I am actually teaching the guard dissection contract, and this is for 2021, y'all. Now don't expect a whole lot of handout, because it's ad lib, because it's going through the whole entire process. So, and what I want to point out where I see some issues and some changes that we're not aware of. So just be mindful. There's not going to be a whole lot of handout. This is a participatory, and it's going to be answer Q&A back and forth.
Yeah, and it's about just breaking the contracts down into much smaller bite-sized pieces, kind of thing.
And understandable format, because right now with our industry and our market right now as it is, some people don't still understand sale and lease back contingency.
Yeah. So on Wednesday, we have weird contract forms. On Thursday, we have 2 classes. We have 2021 GAR contract changes, and that's going to be about all the new changes that came this year. And then also at 10, we have how to become lender ready and leverage business credit, which is a really great class as well, kind of thing. So it was Valentine's this past Sunday.
I want to give a shout out to all my real estate community, my church family, my friends, and everybody. As most of you guys know, I had COVID. Alan had COVID, and my lovely husband decided he's going to share with me, of course.
Because I'm a giver.
He's a giver.
That's how I
anyways, but make the long story short, I went downhill much quicker than he did because I caught something else. So I just want to let you know that during my time, thank you for the encouragement. Thank you for your love, your overwhelming support, and just the little things that y'all have done, even just a text. It means a lot to me, and I'm very appreciative, and just want to express my sincere thank you. And if anybody that is out there that that can use some encouragement, please let me know. I'd love to pay it forward.
Yeah. So it's been a fun, okay, not so fun path, but we're glad that we're through it. We're on the other side now. So
goodness.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
At least, 3 almost. So, all right, but. Speaking of Valentine's, this is going to be our backstory of love.
Aww.
So I want to talk a little bit about. So the first thing is that the pandemic pushed 80% of couples to shack up in 2020, right?
Babies. Baby boomers.
Well, first comes love, then comes marriage, and that one kind of thing. But 43% of couples moved in together after only dating 6 months, and another 20% after only dating 3 months. And said 82% of the folks that the pandemic affected their decision to move in together. Now, on the good side, 66% of the folks said that quarantining together made the relationship stronger
and family.
And 90% are living together.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're seeing that that renters are moving for love, kind of thing. 41% of Americans have moved for love. However, not all this love has ended in happy endings, kind of thing. Women are more likely to express regrets.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, sorry. So
pick up your trash.
Yeah, it's kind of wow. Now, what are the loneliest states in America? You might be wondering. Probably doesn't wonder, but I'm going to share with you anyway, kind of thing. So the top 10 loneliest states. Now, who gets voted? How they rank the loneliest states is the percentage of households living alone, the percentage of divorce, and how many dating app searches. So Maine is the #1 loneliest state, followed by Vermont, Oregon, West Virginia. And you might say, where does Georgia rank? Well, we rank 12th from the 12th least lonely states, kind of thing. So 28% of our households live alone. 11.3% of Georgians are divorced, and only 47% have been doing dating service searches, kind of thing. So
still very high.
Well, it's still but hey, we're 12 from the top, so we're the 12th least lonely state. Yes. So we are still very heavy.
But we're still looking.
Oh yeah. Well,
obviously.
I mean, not speaking personally. But,
not us.
Yeah. All right. So jobless claims this past week continue to be really, really high. They came in at about 6.2%, which really sounds better than it really is. The Fed share came out this past week, and they talked about interest rate. I mean, unemployment is really probably closer to 10%, because there's a lot of folks that have given up on searching for jobs, kind of thing, right now. And so there is still a long way to go on that side of things. The positive is that the inflation rate only came in at 1.4%, which is still below the 2% mark where they want it to be at. And so the Fed's buying policy, as far as on buying mortgages, is in the same position that it was before. Now, speaking of mortgages, our mortgage rates last week remained flat. They were straight across the board. Good. Yeah, 2.73 was the average for a 30-year fixed rate. 2.2 was a 15-year fixed rate, and a 5-year treasury came in at 2.78. So these are the what we're really seeing with the mortgage industry is that things are really pretty flattening out. I do feel we are going to see a slight rise moving up into closer to threes. And so we are still suggesting that if your clients aren't locked in, they probably want to think about locking in here. So overall mortgage applications, you may see that mortgage applications fell last week. And so that might be like, oh, well, maybe the market's slowing down. No, they're still, they did drop 5% from the week before, but they're up 17% over last year. And at this point last year, we still weren't really rocking with COVID yet. And so last year was still, it was starting to hit, but we're still, but we were 17% over last year. We're going to start seeing those numbers really rocket up, because this is about the time last year when things went down for the real estate industry kind of thing. Now, FHA has extended the forbearance extension for
FHA loans,
for all FHA loans by
3 months.
By 3 months. But here's the caveat for your clients: they have to ask. Okay, it's not an automatic extension. They're not just going to automatically do this. So they need to reach out. So if you have clients that need to extend, their forbearance, then they've got to do that then they have to be the ones that initiate that. Because now they can go out because we kind of come around to that point where everything was coming back to square one. And so there's another 3 months now, but it doesn't automatically happen. If you have clients that need it, have them reach out to their servicer. That's really the best way to kind of do that. Overall, we had some really good news come out this past week, because there was NAR surveyed a whole list of clients. And what we're seeing is that home sellers are feeling more optimistic. And that's a really great thing for us, because we need listings in a bad way. We really do. So right now, 52% of our consumers say that it's a good time to buy a home, which really hasn't changed that much. We've been up over the 50% mark for a while. 57% say that it's a good time to sell a home. That's up about 7%. So that's really, really good. 41% of consumers believe that home prices will go up over the next months, and I agree, but I don't think we'll talk a little bit more about that.
I just don't think we're still seeing some appraisal issue right now, just so you know. So if you have a home that's unique in a large tract of land, you might want to encourage your seller to go ahead and get an appraisal done prior to listing.
Yep, 75% of our consumers say they're not concerned about losing their job in the next 12 months, which is a really good sign kind of thing. And almost 20% of the average Americans out there say that their household income is significantly higher than it was 12 months ago. So, these are really good signs for our sellers, because, the other thing that we have is with the vaccines rolling out, we're having sellers start to feel a little bit more comfortable. But probably the biggest issue we're seeing with sellers right now is that our sellers have to be buyers first. Right. Otherwise, you're making your friends homeless. So you really got to make sure that you're reaching out there to them on that. So the Case-Shiller home index. So they shared out their home price insights for the next year. And so, this past year, we saw an overall in the U.S. about a 9.2% increase over prior year. And that's a national average. Here in Georgia, it was closer to like 7.8 overall for the entire state. We had some areas that were, 14%. We had some that were only 5%, but overall for Georgia, it was around 7.7, I believe. So this is what the Case-Shiller price index is forecasting for the next year, which is a 2.9% increase. And I think that that's pretty close to where we'll actually end up being. Now, you are going to see over the next few months just some crazy numbers in values over last year because of what happened last year. If you remember where we were when the pandemic started, everything just, everybody stomped on the brakes. And so everything just went right down. And so we even saw home prices drop last year. We saw showings drop. We saw the availability of showings. We had all of a sudden we had a glut of inventory because no one was wanting to go out and look, and no one was going out to show.
And seller was taking the house off the market due to COVID and all that good stuff.
So what we saw was last year there was a dip in February, March, and a little bit of April.
April
really started coming back up.
At the end of April, actually, middle April,
Yeah.
is when it started popping, and it's been popping since then.
So if you're watching monthly numbers, they're going to look really crazy for the next couple of months because we're significantly higher than where we were last year, and last year had a dip. Now, come April again, we should start seeing much more modest increases over prior year. And that's where I think for the year, we're going to end up being around 2.5%, 3.5% up over prior year. And I think that's pretty safe. And that's really, honestly, really safe for where we need to be. We have seen, 10%, 9.2 for the nation is not sustainable. No one's making 10% more than they made last year, or a lot of folks aren't. And so that's not a sustainable number that can create, that will create a bubble if we keep that rate going. And so the other thing is we're seeing a lot of pressure to keep home prices rising more moderately. The appraisal issues that we're having kind of across the board is one of those issues that we continue to fight, and our sellers continue to get frustrated with right now. So overall, you can see that the Case-Shiller pricing index, this is, you can see what's in the shaded area. That's their forecast, and what you see in the blue is how it actually came out. And they're pretty close on the overall.
Almost,
so you can see that continues to be, they continue to be right on. So I think that we're probably going to see us right in that same range. And I think that they're pretty spot on with that. So we just wanted to share that. So they
so Atlanta, we're the 12 hottest housing market.
Well, we're number 5 on the top 12.
I know.
So they surveyed like 120 economists from around the nation and said, what are the hottest housing markets? And Atlanta came in at number 5, and that's a really great thing for us, located here in hot Atlanta. So that's great. So we love seeing that. Also, we had another survey come out this past week that 33% of 1 out of 3 homes in the U.S. is considered equity rich. And what equity rich really means is that they have over 50% equity in their home. So over a third of the homes in the U.S.
Well, I think part of that is due to increase in price as well. So there is some price adjustment on that.
Right, but the thing I love to show with this is that, a lot of folks are like, well, remember what happened in 2008? We had this big housing bubble. This is not a bubble, Back in 2008, no one had, a third of the homes were not over 50% equity.
You have all that steady income investors, and just, you got a pulse, you got a house.
Yep. And as well, a new study came out, another study, well, not study, but we had some data come out that vacation homes in the U.S. are now spiking. And by vacation homes, what that really means is second home purchases. Second home purchases are up 84%. And they've been up in the 70 to 110% range for 12 months now. So now I know that the COVID has impacted a lot of families, but there's also a lot of people that it have not impacted nearly that much, and understand that second home buyers are big right now. Biggest that they've pretty much ever been. They ended the year at over 80%, and like I said, some months they were up 110% over prior year, kind of thing. So that's a big market that we need to be looking to try and expand on. Our builders are continuing to see a lot of challenges right now. So we surveyed a lot of the builders and found out, what are your issues right now? Because we need more new construction. So the number one issue is obtaining materials. 96% of our builders say that materials are a challenge. And right now we saw material costs really shoot up, and then they dropped right back down, and then they shot right back up again. Because, at first it was about being able to get the products, but then there was such demand for the products that the prices went through the roof again. So right now, materials is a big deal. We're seeing that some materials are up 17 to 25% over a year ago.
And don't be surprised if windows are hard to find product right now.
Well, a lot of,
it's a minimum 3 months order out right now.
Yeah. So getting some of these products are hard. A lot of our municipalities are having a hard time approving plans and that kind of stuff, just because all of a sudden there's a big rush into building. And so just our municipalities are having a hard time with that. Finding subs and qualified workers is a big challenge.
Yeah.
And then, any kind of ordinances that we're seeing. So, all right. So at the same time, multifamily construction is on the rise. Now, multifamily construction is on the rise, but not where you'd think. Multifamily has been, primarily focused in cities. And right now, what we're seeing over the last 12 months is a shift with multifamily moving into the burbs. And so expect to continue to see a lot more multifamily moving in the burbs. Right now, quads and duplexes are hot, and they are, and we're seeing a lot more new construction starting, proposed construction coming out with a lot of quads and a lot of duplexes as well.
Wow, multi-use PUD development.
Yep. So even though there's been a lot of stuff going on with consolidation in the MLSs across the U.S., the consolidation issues, in the matter of, wow, I'm just kind of rambling on here kind of thing. So let's get to this. There are 556 MLSs by the end of 2020. There used to be over 800. So we're seeing a consolidation of that. Here in Atlanta, we have two of the top 10 largest MLSs in the nation. And the number 4th largest multiple listing service in the nation is FMLS. And Georgia MLS is the 7th largest multiple listing service in the nation, kind of thing. And so a lot of people are kind of surprised by that. A lot of folks think that Georgia MLS, because they cover the whole state, has more, but actually First Mobile actually has more agents and more transactions. So we have two of the largest MLSs in the nation here. And honestly, when it comes to like competition and being able to share data, that's probably one of the biggest things that really kind of helps. In other parts of the country and other areas, some MLSs are almost in a single county. You have to join that MLS just to be able to show or see listing inventory in each county, in each city, and that kind of stuff. So here, this is not an issue that we have, but we do have two of the largest MLSs out there. And just kind of an FYI, because a lot of folks don't know that kind of thing.
Well, and honestly, with the growing MLS, they're trying to become almost a national product. So do tap into the FMLS and Georgia MLS, because they are coming with new product that can help you with your referrals outside of states.
Yeah. All right. So Mike Dupree released some new information about Zillow and Opendoor that we find to be rather eye-opening. Now, when Zillow and Opendoor share their numbers, they talk about how much money that they're making. On average, they say they make around $11,000 per house that they sell as part of their iBuyer program. But that's not really true, because because they have a lot of expenses that they don't include in that number. And so one of the really interesting things is how much money Zillow and Opendoor iBuyer programs are losing. So you can see that on average, the net loss per home is around $20,000 for Opendoor, and it's around $50,000 per home for Zillow. And you want to say, well, how can these companies lose $20,000 and $50,000 per house and stay in business? Well, guys, these folks are not trying to compete on a per house basis. They're trying to change how real estate is done in the U.S. And so these really are market disruptors that are not looking at profitability from the same place that we do. We wouldn't be able to stay in business very long if we lost 20 grand on every house that we actually sold. So Zillow, even though Zillow's profit was, up again this past year, most of that profit comes from the real estate side of things and their flex programs and from realtors. Their iBuyer program continues to lose money. So, but, and I find that to be one of the challenges of Zillow kind of thing, is that they're kind of fighting us on that at the same time while they feed off us. So Zillow continues to be one of those challenging areas for most real estate professionals to kind of get their head around, simply because they're
now competing directly with us.
Yeah, on so many levels. And at the same time, guess what? Zillow is buying ShowingTime for $500 million. By the way, guys, that $500 million that they're paying for showing time, that's all from agents that we've given to them, kind of thing. So, you know, some agents are already, talking about the challenges with using showing time because of their
program
distaste of Zillow kind of
well,
thing.
they get your information, they collect your information, they know that they're tracking you guys.
Well, but they, you know, as of right now, ShowingTime says it's going to remain an open platform for all industry participants.
But
we all know how Zillow operates, kind of thing. Because I remember when Zillow said we'll never be a brokerage, and that didn't happen. So we'll see. You know, what really happens with ShowingTime. The good news at the same time is Insta showings is really starting to grow in market share right now, and CoStar, who is probably the biggest rival for Zillow out there, is going to be ramping up their own scheduling tool as part of HomeSnap. So I think that we're going to start seeing some options out there for, overall, I'm not knocking ShowingTime. I like ShowingTime a lot. I think it's very helpful. Very helpful for our clients. Our clients really like it. But it's going to be interesting to see where that really ends up rolling out for us in the long term, kind of thing. So I don't mean to be too pessimistic, but you know,
well,
I'm a little gun shy with
they're
Zillow,
business like everybody else, so they're there to make money and to just like how Zillow's making money out of us for referral.
Yep. So we had some new information coming out about reviews and how important reviews are for the real estate community, kind of thing. The top seven agents of the year, they all shared about the positive impacts of reviews. And probably the three big issues that we got to look at is 87% of consumers read reviews about local businesses. And then if a business has more than 5 reviews, the likelihood to use that business is up by 270%, almost 300% increase for businesses that have over 5 reviews. And that 80% of consumers trust online reviews as much as they do a recommendation from a friend. So we got to make sure that we're paying attention to the reviews, because we get really, really busy and we got a lot of things to do. We have a lot of hats to wear and we have a lot of plates that we spin. It's very easy to forget about the importance of reviews and the impact that has on our business. So please take this week and go and check out how your reviews are looking, where you're keeping them, how you're managing them, because you do
make a difference.
Yeah, you have to manage that. So last thing I want to kind of wrap up with here is I want to talk a little bit about creating some YouTube content, because video continues to be big. So whether you're doing Facebook, like we're doing Facebook Live today as well, you know, and as well as YouTube, you can find all of our videos on realestatebackstory.com, which is our YouTube channel. And then we also share them out on Facebook and Insta and the whole 9 yards. But a lot of times, but as real estate agents, you know, we tailor this to real estate agents, but real estate agents need to tailor their business or their videos to their consumers. I hear all the time, well, I want to do video, but I just don't know what to do. Okay. And so let's talk about
your personality. Yeah.
So the first thing is have top 5 lists, have top 7 lists, you know, 5 things you should know about moving into Georgia, kind of thing. Top 5 things to do in the Atlanta area.
Play tourist your own town.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You know, play tourist, you know, show folks around, you know, take folks and show them all about what goes on. You know, you also have the opportunity to talk about evergreen topics, as these things won't ever change. You know, you can do a market update every single month. Gosh, you could almost do it every week. That's kind of what we do here. You know, how much homes have appreciated or depreciated. Hopefully they keep appreciating. You know, the cost of living update on how things are going in the Atlanta area. Any kind of financial topics always doing really, really good. You know, taking city tours for your relo clients is another great one. And then go on to Google and data search, you know, Google and see what comes up when you put, you know, real estate in McDonough, real estate in East Point, that kind of thing, and see what comes up. And then what those concerns for those people that are searching for that, make a video on that. So there's a lot of content that you can do.
And especially right now, y'all, with everybody doing Uber Eats and DoorDash and everything else, restaurants are good stuff for y'all to discuss, you know, or just do some recipe. I know people have got into more in making product at home just to have some creativity, something different, new, and it's a fun thing.
Yeah. So we appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for joining us. We do this every single Monday morning at 9 a.m. And so now we're doing it on Facebook Live as well. And so we hope that this is of value to you. If we can be of any service, please call, text, smoke signals. We are available. And then if you want to meet with us, we have we meet up with all of our agents afterwards if anyone wants to. So MX1 Rocks. MX1.rocks/chat if you'd like to chat with us for a few minutes. So we got to do this after Backstory every single week. So thank you guys for joining us. We appreciate it and we love you. Bye.
Take care. Happy Monday.